Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Waifuware, the show where we...
No, stop it.
Okay.
Nope.
It's my show now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Husbandoware, the show where we take a look at all those cheap games on Steam trying to bait you into spending your hard-earned dollar at the promise of some digital abs and dickies. Dickies? On today's episode, Les Fleursword. Les Fleursword is an erotic otome developed by Magic House and published by Sakura Game. This title will run you $2.19 Canadian. Sporting mixed reviews, I beat this game start to finish, and this is what I experienced. First things first, we boot the game up, and it's very obviously an RPG Maker game. Decent options for audio mix, but no option for a proper full screen. Although nothing will tell you this, F4 will put you in a windowed borderless full screen, but the game will remain in a 4:3 aspect ratio. There's not much else to look at, so we boot the game up and yeah, this is a Sakura Game release. Direct translation, compliments of Google Translate. Allegedly. The story in this is quite simple, but has more depth than I feel it has any right to have. You play as Adelaide. Adelaide is the daughter of a knight and the first female descendant in a line of men. To carry on with her family's legacy, she too becomes a knight, something rather unheard of in the world of Les Fleursword. Of course, this means Adelaide will deal with a lot of gender-based persecution as she pursues her family's line of work, but never will she allow that to dissuade her. One day, Adelaide receives a mission from her father to investigate a stranger in town who seems to be healing people in ways local doctors cannot. Perhaps this is done with the use of items or with some form of dark magic. Adelaide and her apprentice locate the man, and after a brief battle they capture him, but not before he puts a curse on her that will gradually drain her of her strength and her life, eventually resulting in her death. And this is where the fappable storyline begins. At least according to Steam, the storyline is fappable. Of course, translation is going to be this game's biggest problem. Only I'd argue it's more damning here than it is in most other games, where this is in fact a visual novel. To put this into perspective, here's a line from one of the game's erotic endings. I want to resisted Euphoria with his mouth stuffed, mine kissed me so much that I could barely breathe with little strength to fight. At some points they address the curse mark on her neck as a mole, which definitely doesn't do anything to sell the audience on the severity of her condition. There are no gameplay mechanics besides reading and decision making, so bearing this in mind, the controls work like this. Z space enter left click and escape to progress dialogue, control to skip dialogue, and that's about it. Les Fleursword has several routes, but only 3 result in the fappable storyline. I'm personally a little disappointed in this, mainly because all the men in the game are rather samey in their design. I'm certainly no expert on the matter, but all these men look like pretty boys, and I think some variety would be nice. Get me a ripped Nakamura type character with a massive bulge and we can talk business. Each route has no more than 2 decisions tied to it, and in a standard playthrough you'll only be requested to make decisions twice. The only time gameplay exists outside of this is upon completion of the game when you get your CG gallery. You can move around on this screen and click on this dog for an achievement, and that's all. Aside from a surprising attempt at depth in the storyline, the game's biggest highlight is its art stills, which are actually very well done most of the time. When the art stills are combined with visual effects, some problems arise, but that's a different story. The sound design and music is typical RPG Maker stuff, and I absolutely mean this when I say it. Take this theme here that plays when the game takes you to the save screen. If this sounds familiar, there's a good reason why. Here it is again in Material Girl. The sprite graphics I really enjoy, especially this mustache here. The game takes anywhere from 3 to 5 hours to complete, depending on how long it takes you to understand the broken English. If you decide to do more than one route, each additional route should add at least 1 more hour to your runtime. Really, this could be a pretty decent budget erotic visual novel for women if they could get their translation under control. I feel the source material is much better than the end product we got, and as a result, it definitely deserves the mixed reviews. Since this is the only husbandoware this season, I kinda wish I had more to say about it than this, but I really don't, so I'm gonna have to leave it at that. If you guys like this video, you know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you can. Links to socials are below. As always, folks, thanks for watching.